I don't know about you, but I really like seeing the artistic process. So I'm going to share with you this landscape painting that is on my easel right now. The first thing is to find a location. And for me, I took a photograph, well, several photographs, of an area that I think is just beautiful. This is at the Morton Arboretum in Lisle, Illinois. It was a hot summer day, and I really wanted to focus on the way heat and this time of year affects color. Using my photograph, I worked with composition. I made several sketches. I made some value studies. I looked at where I wanted the focal point to be located, and I worked with my lights and darks quite a bit before I even started thinking about painting. I also analyzed the colors that I saw in the photograph that I really wanted to use in this painting. I chose about 11 colors that I wanted to look at more carefully, plus titanium white, and I did a color study. And that helped me to decide for sure which colors I would choose. I did not use all 11, but I did use, maybe about 8 or 9. I really do like using a more limited palette of colors. This isn't the most limited, but still, I did limit myself to these 8 or 9 colors, and that was it. It's time to start thinking now about using my canvas and transferring my basic shapes to this canvas. I'm using a 16 by 20 canvas, and I'm using burnt sienna as the color, very thin down, to put my basic shapes in place and start putting some values into place. This also acts to tone my canvas as I'm working. I picked burnt sienna because of its warmth, and I want to really show that as part of the whole picture idea behind this, how the hot summer really affects the warmth of colors. Even the sky is getting a very light tone of this burnt sienna. And I'm using burnt sienna without as much thinning to create a darker tone for those darker values, especially in the background that I see. There are a few in the foreground too. Now I pretty much have my lights and darks in place using just burnt sienna, and then I can start using some of my other color. I'm starting with my darkest greens. I see them in the background, and I also see them in the reflection in the water. There are a few in the foreground that will also appear in a moment. I continue building, and now I'm putting in some of my lighter greens. This is where that color study that I did back at the beginning really comes in handy, because I can find those greens that I want, and not just any old green, and also ones that are a little warmer and ones that are a little cooler. In those areas of warmer green, I am going to let just little peaks of that burnt sienna show through in between the other strokes. You can see that in the background trees in a few places. It gives added warmth. You can also see I'm starting to work on the foreground a little bit more. You can see those flowers are starting to take shape a little bit more in that forward tree. I've also added some of the surface growth on the water, and I certainly have more to do in that foreground and in the growth that's right around the flowers there. Let's take another look at my photograph that I'm working from. You can see I've still got more to do. I'm not done, but I thought I would just give you a peek into the process so far. When this 16 by 20 inch painting is finished, then it will need a title, and you'll be able to see it on my website at helenCreed.com.